Hello everyone, this is the next step in making a chain. I will show you how to make jump rings. Your wire must be annealed and pickled. To make jump rings, we are going to use a mandrel and coil the wire around it. Use the mandrel provided. It is the right size for this project. Wrap a short section of annealed wire on one end of the mandrel. You can use masking tape if it is easier to keep it in place. And use the filed tapered end of the wire so that it won't matter if it gets damaged. You put both the vise and the mandrel and the wire into the vise, clamping the vise on both the mandrel and the wire. And then you can start coiling the wire around the mandrel. Make sure you keep even pressure when pulling the wire. Keep the same tension all around and leave no gap or space in between each turn. We'll speed up the video a little bit at this point. And here you can see that the coil is very tight. There is no gap between each turn of the wire. Now you might be wondering how many jump rings or links you need to make this chain. With this size of links and diameter of wire, for a chain of about 20 centimeters in length, you would need about 40 links. But please check the handouts for more details on bracelet size. So we're getting to the end of the wire. We're going to open up the vise to remove both the mandrel and the coil. And then we're going to slide the coil off the mandrel. Next, you need to anneal the coil, quench, and pickle. Before we start cutting, let's look at these two coils of wire. One is annealed and is whiter and more matte than the non-annealed coil, which is more shiny. What we see is a thin layer of fine silver or pure silver, which is whiter than sterling silver on the surface of the metal. This happens during the annealing and pickling process. Before we start cutting, you'll notice that I have modified my bench pin to make it easier and safer to saw the coil. So don't be afraid, make your life easier and cut or file a notch on the front of your bench pin. Brace the coil of wire against the bench pin. Remember to hold your work safely and to keep your fingers out of the way. Another method would be to keep the coil on the mandrel, sliding it up slightly. Some people find it easier. Whatever you do, you start from the top of the coil and you saw the jump rings one by one. So there we have a few jump rings already cut, still on the blade. You can open up the frame to let them out or just continue. And don't forget to lubricate your blade once in a while. And then start cutting again from the top. So every time you saw one jump ring, your saw makes a notch on the following link just below, as you can see here. So use that notch to guide your next cut and to make sure you are sawing on a straight line. So we're getting close to the end of the coil. We're going to slow down a bit. We're almost done. And we are going to open the frame to collect all these jump rings. And now we have a nice pile of jump rings.